Twilight, she is restless, neither she or I confide. We're gonna cross the border in the middle of the night before the dawn catches up to us. We'll be in Mexico.
Okay, so the latest contraption that I picked up that I've seen all over the internet, the Bondi Boost thermal brush. When I got my haircut the most recent time, they gave me a blowout, and that was when I got hooked and realized that there was no way that I could do that to myself. I'll have to figure out how to get the volume up here. So this will be my new project. So this is about as ready as I'll get when I'm working from home. I've dressed up for you for the occasion. But I want to note this Fair Island, is that what it's called? Fair Weather, Fair Island sweater. That's the style, and I picked this up from Aritzia, and I love it. But this is where perhaps I went a little over the top. I picked up the matching hat and the matching scarf, which in hindsight, all three together is a little bit much. Wilfred and Aritzia make such everlasting pieces, so I'm excited to style this. Should I put it all at once just for, for the look? All right, let's go get some work done.
I hear your heart is racing like a jet across the sky. So drink another whiskey with a cigarette beside. I don't know why, but you've always been my girl. We're going to Mexico.
Okay, so taking a little afternoon break to talk about something that's very thematic for this time of year, which is goal setting and New Year's resolutions, if you will call them that. I actually feel like for once I'm in a great place where I don't feel that pressure to restart and recreate some kind of new routine for the new year. I was able to stay consistent last year using a framework that was flexible but helped me stay intentional with all of my goals. The new year always brings around tricky feelings in terms of the need to restart or reset, and that's something that if you are a perfectionist or someone who struggles with this idea of needing to be perfect, can be a little bit triggering. I often have to remind myself that you don't always have to be this project that's restarting, resetting. In the past, I've definitely got caught up in the idea of being in this constant state of self-development, which I think has its pros and is something that you should be mindful of, but can prevent you from actually living your life sometimes. So keeping that in mind, I do have a specific tactic for the new year that helps me stay accountable, but also allows me that flexibility. So there are 4 components to this New Year's situation, whatever you want to call it, that I take inventory of, and that would be online, offline, mind, and body. So for online and offline, I spend time doing basically the same thing virtually and in real life. Online, this looks like emptying my recycling box, clearing my downloads, unsubscribing from streaming services I no longer use. What else? Booking a financial planning appointment to check in on my financial wellness. Offline, I am purging things that I do not need. I am wiping under objects that I usually just wipe around. I'm dusting, I'm spraying, I'm mopping. I'm washing all my towels, blankets, sheets. I'm bringing a pile of clothes to the dry cleaners. I'm charging all my devices and wiping down the screens. It really is just to start off the year with a clean space, both online and offline. Now this sets a foundation for the next category, which is mind. There are 2 key activities that I do for mine that use these 8 categories I'm always checking in on throughout the year. Relationships, finance, career, culture, mind, body, soul, and space. The first thing that I do is something I've been doing since 2014. Using these 8 aspects of my life, I create 8 goals. But these goals aren't SMART goals, if you will. They're not measurable, they're not specific. They're either a word or a phrase that embodies the sentiment that I want to encapsulate for the year ahead. So for example, the area of career, I could choose the word confidence, that I really want to be more confident, and that can look like so many different things. I will then choose a word of the year, and then I will choose a quote of the year. So then I have these 10 different intentions for the year, and I will put them on a paper and decorate it in a way that inspires me for the year ahead. And as I said, I've had these for over 10 years now, one for every year, and I can look back on my 15 or 16-year-old self and see what those words and intentions were, and see if they're still applicable, if I've achieved them, if I need to reinstate them as something I want to focus on for the year ahead. And there's just something, I know SMART goals, which is like, I don't know what the actual acronym stands for, but it's measurable, and you really are very specific. That's the essence, SMART goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timing maybe, don't quote me on that. But I find broader intentions more successful for myself, because as I grow and develop throughout the year, I can kind of mold and shape these intentions to fit my needs in the current moment. So once I've done that, I then head on over to Pinterest and choose images that kind of reflect these intentions for the year ahead. I'm a very visual person, and this is something that I love to do. I always make a nice drink, I put on some nice instrumental music, and then I go through those different intentions. So for example, for career, again, I would think, what does this intention look like? And then go through Pinterest and pull images to add to my board for the year that reflect that. All right, so the final bucket, if you will, is body. And for body, I am making appointments left, right, and center, but being cautious not to overload the beginning of January, which is already a very overwhelming time after the holidays. I'm booking a hair appointment, I'm booking my brows, a massage, a facial, laser, therapy, a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment. I get my nails done, which I actually want to point out because I have cracked the code for the perfect natural nail. This took a lot of convincing for the nail tech because she was adamant that they would not show up. Frankly, they would be too natural, but I had done it one time prior and loved it. I think because I'm so pale, sometimes that really rosy base and that really white tip just looks so fake on me that this is the perfect combination. And that is one coat, put it in neutral by OPI, gel or regular, whatever you choose. And then for the actual tip, Funny Bunny, one coat. And my goodness, I love them. They are your nails but better. I think the perfect natural but polished way to go into the new year. I highly recommend that you try. This was a nice little break from work for the day, but I need to head back to my laptop and finish up some work. And then I think I'm gonna do some Pilates on my mat or hit the treadmill, just some kind of movement. I would love to go outside, but it is freezing and gray and just miserable. And then I usually wind down a work day on the couch, my favorite spot, putting something good on TV. Last night was the Golden Globes, and I've picked up so many different recommendations of shows and movies that I want to see. This is the first year that I actually haven't seen many of the nominees or winners, so I have some catching up to do. I love award season. This is something I've talked about on here before, but especially having volunteered and attended TIFF, seeing the full life cycle of these films from premiere back in September to the award ceremony this new year is really special. Another pop culture-esque recommendation that I am so late to the game on is Stranger Things. So the last episode I think comes out today or tomorrow, and I just started. This week I am on episode 4. I started it last week and I just couldn't hold off any longer. I didn't think it would be something that I would be interested in, but I was just consumed online by everybody posting about this final season that, you know, what else was I to do but watch? And now I'm trying to avoid spoilers. So here's hoping I can make it through without seeing the end, but so far so good. Definitely always need a buffer show after to kind of calm down before bed, like put on Emily in Paris or something, which there was also a new season of. yeah, so that will be my evening tonight before I am in office tomorrow and my day looks completely different. Thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.
And as he turns his face, I see his sad blue eyes. No, there's not a lot of heart, there's not a lot of love in this desert life. 'Cause it's a man's world. Yes, it's a man's world.